Hi, my name is Steve Miller with SmartBear Software, and one of the frequently asked questions that I have is how would we use ALMComplete if we're using Agile or Scrum? It all starts in the requirements section of ALMComplete. Think of requirements as user stories, and think of being able to organize those by product line and by release. So you'll see here that I have two different product lines. We have a contact management system and an orders application. And I've organized this folder structure underneath it to hold, first of all, my product backlog. So as we're working on new features, we can start to discover those inside of the product backlog. We can begin to prioritize those here, and then we can move those very easily into a particular sprint or a particular release. Now we also create release folders. In this example we have release 1 and then we have 2 Agile sprints underneath it. So in the entire release we're going to do all 8 of these user stories, but we're really going to concentrate on these first 5 in sprint 1 and these 2 in sprint 3. If you did want to move items out of your product backlog and into a sprint, you simply go to the product backlog, choose Fast Edit, choose Move Items from one folder to the other, highlight the items, and then drag and drop them into a particular sprint. So I could take these and easily drag those into this sprint if we wanted to do that. One of the questions I'm asked a lot is, okay, I like to actually keep track of my story points. How would I set this up to track those story points? Well, you can set up a story point as a custom field. To do that, you simply come into the Actions area and choose Manage Custom Fields. Once here, create a custom field called Story Points, and then you can make it a drop-down list if you prefer to do that. So maybe you would like to carry your story points as 1 through 5. So we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you save that, that will then become part of the user story. Once you've created your story points area, you can go in and start assigning points to each one of your items. So let's do that. We'll come here and we'll give this first one 1 story point, and we'll give this one 2 story points, and then we'll move to the next one and give this one 1 story point. Once we're done, you can see that we can very easily track our story points for each one of our user stories. Now once you've settled on a set of user stories that you're going to start working on in a particular release, you can then build these release folders to house those, and you can also bring those under project management so that you can begin tracking your burn down and having people work on their task board. So to begin that process, you simply go into the project management area and you would click Add New Plan to build a new plan. Once you do that, it'll ask you for the name of the plan. So if you were working on maybe release 1 sprint 1, you would simply put that in here. You would put in your burn down start and end dates, and then you would choose to create the new project plan using the wizard. Once you use the wizard, it'll take you through and ask you what requirements or user stories you want to bring onto the plan, if you want to bring any test cases or defects onto the plan, and then it will build that plan automatically for you. Once you're done with that, it looks something very similar to this, where it'll show you each one of your user stories or requirements, and then you can take that and break that down into lower level deliverables that you can estimate finitely, and you can assign those to various people on your team. Now once you have all of this set up, your team members can then begin using the task board to manage their tasks. They will simply log in and choose My Task Board, and it will show them all of the tasks that they have on their list of to-do. So we'll see a to-do area, an in-progress area, and a completed area. So for me, I'm looking at all of the tasks that I haven't started are in the to-do area. The ones that I have started are in progress, and the ones that I've completed are here. If I want to post hours to a task, I simply click Post Hours, put in how many hours I worked on it, how many hours I feel like I still have remaining, press Submit, and then all of that information will be posted. I can also complete hours. If for some reason I'm done with an item, I can actually drag it right into the completed area, and then it'll show that item as completed. Scrum Masters and team members can also look at burn down and other indicators. So if you go to the dashboard, you'll be able to see your particular burn down, what your ideal line is versus how you're trending. You'll also be able to look at activity. You can see side by side how many hours you've given each one of your developers and how many hours they're reporting that they have remaining. So far we've shown you how to manage your user stories and how to create project plans to begin managing your burn down. Your QA team at this point will probably start creating some test cases, and they'll probably start tracking the progress of those runs. They'll do this here in the test cases area. Very similar to the way we organize the requirements or user stories, they can come in and build these reusable test cases into a library. Once they have them in the library, they can then copy those over into the test runs area so that they can track the individual test cases that they would like to run in each given sprint. Now with this you get some really nice dashboards. So I can come here at any time and look at a dashboard that trends out my test effort day by day, sprint by sprint. So if I'm looking at just this sprint, it'll then show me that we have 21 tests that are passed, 13 that have failed, and we have 6 that are awaiting a run. I can also get some other information like who the test cases are assigned to and in what status they are. Very similar to this, as you're running test cases, some of those test cases may fail and you may want to create defects from them. Rather than having to create those defects manually, you can automatically create defects as the test cases fail. If you're using other tools like Jira, it also has some synchronization capabilities. Once items are synchronized, you'll be able to access those items directly from Jira. In this example, this particular item has synced over into Jira, into that issue number, and I can click here to begin editing that Jira issue. Another interesting feature of ALMComplete that really helps Agile teams is this collaboration area. First of all, you can create document shares. So if you have particular documents that you'd like to share with each other, you can build folder structures and then you can upload those documents for team review. You can also hold discussions. So if you're working on an Agile team that's geographically distributed, you can come in and you can create forums here, ask questions about particular specs, and then you can have people reply to that. So as these messages are posted here, it gets sent out via email, and via your email you can actually respond directly to this. Well, this was a brief overview of how ALMComplete works with Agile. We hope that you'll consider it for your next Agile project. Thank you.